Hey, what's up? Blind Corn Dog here. I just wanted to show you the thing that I've been working on. It's a side-scrolling game. It goes automatically. So therefore an automatic side-scrolling game. Um, it's gonna be kind of challenging. I like difficult games, and I wanted to make something kind of difficult. Um, because for instance, beating a boss in Elden Ring is like the most. It's an incredible feeling. This game is hoping to mimic some of that. So all we got here. I got a couple scenes or a few scenes. I got the player. I've already programmed it. Um, I incorporated a double jump. The only thing that I really needed to add to incorporate that double jump was a boolean, um, and I called it double jump. If it's false, you can't double jump. If it's true, you can double jump. So when it's true is when you're in the air. So if you jumped for that second that you're in the air, make it true. And then for the double jump to work, you have to not be on the floor, and double jump has to be true, right? And then once that's happened, you reset it to false. So the only way you can double jump is if you jumped already, and then double jump is true, you can jump again. All right. If you want to make a side-scrolling game in Godot, it's literally like one of the easiest things you can do because I've only tweaked a few things here to get the thing working. So the thing that made it automatically scroll is this bar direction here. I automatically set it equal to 1, so it's not going very fast in the first level. And then after that, you set the velocity of the X to be the direction times the speed. I have the speed up here set already. That's just the default speed. I didn't want to change that. And then the other thing that I do have, I made this little function down here that's going to update the speed with the direction of the character so that it'll go faster once every level is done. So I'll just give you a little preview here, and then the thing that I want to work on I will explain in a second. So uh, it's not all done. Obviously, I just wanted to get a prototype working. Some little tile maps here, some physics tile maps to where you can jump off of. And what I've been doing to test this is if the player falls off, once the player position gets below a certain point, it just resets to the very beginning. So that's kind of nice. I'm gonna update a lot of that though, but I'm very proud of the parallax layers. They actually look, I mean, pretty decent for my artistic abilities, which is not optimal. I am more of a programmer. So the space scene is this. Now, what I want to happen is I want the main scene, which really should be called the mountain scene, to transition once the player has reached. I'll show you on here. This point right here, I want it to transition to the space scene, right? So uh, what we need to do is add a couple things. I already have a script for my main scene. The only thing that I put in there is in the process function is if that player goes below, well, if the Y value goes above 1700, then he resets to the original starting position, which is just this random number here that I found. So the thing that I'm going to do, and this is absolutely not probably the most optimal way to do this, but I'm gonna roll with it right now, and then probably make a marker here that'll be easier instead of looking at these numbers, which is what I'm doing now. So the X value for this position right here, it's about 9,000. So I'm gonna say if the player's X value is bigger than 9,000, right? But also the Y value. These are in 50 increments of 50 pixels. This is about 50 pixels here. Let me scroll over and make sure. It's about 100. So if the player's X position is bigger than 9,000 and the player's Y position is below, uh, let me just double check this here. It says, yeah, if it's below 100, if it's below 100, we will transition to the space scene. Okay. So the other thing, once you enter the space scene, I want the player's speed to be updated twice as fast, and that's going to be a reoccurring thing going on. So in the script, the transition, in the things that I've made so far, the way that I've executed transitions is with signals. So I'm going to make a signal exit here, and it's obviously going to represent the exiting of the scene. So for the reset here, I'm going to fix all this later. Again, this is just a prototype. I'll probably have like an option to pop up to where the player can reset to the original position instead of just automatically going and going. So elif, this is the process function. It's called every frame. So it's not called once. It's called a bunch of times throughout the game. So again, I'm checking the player's position. If it's below, or if it's above a certain point for the X and below a certain point for a Y. So I'm going to change this to player position. The X position of the player. This might not be, again, the most optimal way to do this, but we're going to roll with it. And the Y position is less than, change that to Y, 100. We are going to emit that signal. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, give me an error here. Okay, we're good. Is connect that signal to a function. When you do that, up here in the inspector, click on node, signals, exits there. If you double click on it, you can automatically connect that signal to a function. So whenever this signal is emitted, this function will be called. That's what that is. What I want to do is I want to change the tree. I'm sorry, not change the tree, change the scene. The way you do that is you call get tree. Okay, so that calls, it gets the entire project, and it's like, okay, what do I want to do with it? What I want to do is I want to change to a different scene. It's the fourth function down here, change scene to file. What it expects is it expects the argument, the file path for the scene that you want to change to. I want to change the spacing, so I'm going to do that. All right. It's not going to be a pretty transition. What I'll probably do later is make an animation player to kind of spread out that transition, the fade in, fade out kind of thing. So we're going to see if this works. The other thing I wanted to do is once the player has reached the space scene, I want to update their speed. So what I'm going to do in the ready function, which is called immediately once this scene enters the tree, I am going to call update direction on player. And I'm going to give it the value to make sure, well, because I want this thing to get a little bit more difficult as you go. And that should work. So what we're going to do is we're going to run this main scene. We're going to make it all the way to the end, hopefully without failing 100 times, and make sure that it transitions correctly and updates the speed. All right, so my artistic abilities are subpar, but I had a lot of fun making the clouds in particular. There's my first fail. I asked my wife if they looked like clouds, and they kind of do. As you'll see in the next scene, I've kind of discovered that, I'm not a phenomenal artist, but I have my own little artistic style here, and I kind of like it. Oh crap! I made it. Let's see if we can get up here. And I'm gonna have a little parallax up here. Oh, we did it. Okay, that was a little too fast though, so and the speed worked so good. So again, obviously this is the scripting here is not the most optimal way to transition. I'm going to add a marker and access that marker. Probably have a function in there to be called when the player's position has reached that marker. So again, I think that was a little too quick. I think that was probably the Y position. So if I change this to 50, I feel like it'll probably work a little bit better. So I'm going to run it again and check. I appreciate y'all checking this out. If you have any suggestions for me, I'd really appreciate it. If you'd like to work together on something too, let me know, man. I love making games. I've only done one, so I'm not super experienced, but I do have a programming background, and I've had a lot of fun doing it, and I plan on continuing. I've been working on this guy for Just a little bit. I wanted to get a prototype. Like the last game, I just dove all in. Okay, good. Yeah, so that's a little bit better. You got to make sure you jump at the end, so I got to fix that a little bit, but good. This is cool. Again, any suggestions, please let me know. If you need help with something, or you need a tutorial, I got you, dog. Just let me know. Thank you.